Hey, what's up? Seventan here, taking a look at the incredible adventures of Van Helsing 3. The final action role-playing game in the series developed by Neocore games that takes place in the 19th century Eastern Europe, where you and your allies are attempting to rid Borgovia of a dangerous cult performing mad science and attempting to take control of the city. Just to let you guys know, this was a preview build of the game, is not entirely representative of how the final game will be released. Having said that, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3 is one of the more interesting action role-playing games I've played in a while. Not because of any revolutionary gameplay or jaw-dropping graphics, but rather its weirdly unique and wacky narrative and dialogue, mainly between Van Helsing and his ghostly sidekick Katarina. Not to mention the game's cast of interesting characters derived from classic fairy tales, myths and legends. While I find most of these types of games fairly repetitive, I actually found myself laughing and engaged in the story being told, while also enjoying the solid action RPG mechanics. The game also allows you to focus entirely on the main story, or if you want to, you can go out of your way to help out others in the various side missions. The gameplay is what you would come to expect from a decent action RPG, but there are some small mechanics that have been added to the formula that don't really change the gameplay completely, rather they provide just that little bit extra. For example, there are toggleable additional effects for all of your abilities that can be used when you have enough rage built up, providing you with some more damage or crowd control effects as some examples. Admittedly, actually using these additional effects is a little unintuitive, especially in the middle of a fight, but will most likely be necessary to take advantage of in the harder difficulties. In the preview build, I was able to play as both the melee-focused Protector and the ranged Elementalist. I did find that the Elementalist had a much easier time dealing with enemies purely because of the ranged advantage and being able to set Katarina to melee mode to tank for you. The Protector takes a little bit more micromanaging of skills, with shield block being one of the most important abilities to survive the onslaught of enemies by blocking incoming damage, and I imagine will be a lot better in a co-op group working together with other classes. There are 4 other classes to choose from, ranging from archery, engineering, assassin, and even taking control of the mad sciences yourself, bringing the total playable classes to 6, and even then there are multiple different builds for each class. Control over your companion Katarina comes with a couple of stances and forms to take. You can choose whether she is melee or ranged based and how she attacks enemies, whether she defends you or whether she just attacks every enemy in the vicinity. Katarina also has her own set of equipment and stats to work with alongside your own. The equipment comes in differing rarities and with alternate bonus stats. The game automatically gives you a quick rundown of the benefits and negatives compared to your currently equipped items. However, further comparison will be needed to choose the one that suits your abilities better. For instance, if you're using fire spells as the Elementalist, you don't really want to be using a ring with ice spell bonuses. In your secret lair, you can take your equipment to the next level with enhancements, essences, upgrades, and even change the look of it if you have the gold to spare. The character stats that you can alter are divided into 4 different groups with body, dexterity, willpower, and luck. Leveling up will also give you some skill points to distribute amongst your abilities and your abilities' bonus effects. Passive abilities can also be skilled into instead of just your activatables. However, only 3 passive abilities can be used at the one time, so choosing your 3 first off may be beneficial in the long run. In between missions, you'll be busy running the resistance via your secret lair. Here you can find all the traders for magic, armor, weaponry, potions, and more. You can also send out small groups of resistance soldiers to help you win the fight for Borgovia, along with the Chimera that you can send on missions to gather items for you, although that feature was still in development, so I was unable to actually check it out. Other features of the game include full controller support with an entirely reworked UI, and while most of the game's elements transition over nicely to the controller, inventory management is still a big issue. Van Helsing 3 implements a circular item management system that has every available slot for your character shown. Unfortunately, there are some dead zones that can require some work to get where you want, but other than that, it works great. There are 5 difficulty levels that you can play the game at, with 3 of them being harder than the normal mode. The jump from normal to hard is quite significant too, so if you're looking for a challenge, there's that. Teaming up with friends or other players is also possible through the 4-player co-op as well as the 8-player multiplayer modes. Altogether, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3 is a great narratively driven action RPG with a fairly unique humour to it. The game isn't overly focused on loot, with you having to stop the game every 2 minutes to compare and replace items, but does provide numerous options for equipment upgrades and stat rerolls via the secret lair. If you like playing action RPGs with intriguing storylines and some comedic relief thrown here and there, Van Helsing 3 may just be your kind of game. Anyway, that's been my player preview for The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3. The game will be officially releasing May the 22nd. If you want to find out more about the game, check out the links below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.